fool's mate. This is the fastest checkmate in chess history. Just 2 moves and the game is already over. If you ever see this pattern, your opponent won't even know what hit them. Dutch defense, fool's mate pattern. Black tries the Dutch defense, but one small mistake turns into instant disaster. Watch how white punishes a kingside weakness with a brutal checkmate in just a few moves. Bird's opening, fool's mate pattern. White opens with bird's opening, thinking they're creative, but this time, creativity leads straight to checkmate. A queen sacrifice so beautiful, you'll want to replay it twice. The first move, 1 f3 white, begins by pushing the pawn in front of the king's knight. But this is actually one of the worst possible openings. Why? Because it weakens the king's defences, especially the diagonal leading from e1 to h4. It also blocks the knight from developing to its natural square, ge1. Already, white's king is feeling a little exposed. Black responds with 1 e5a, strong and logical move. Black takes control of the centre and opens up lines for the queen and the dark squared bishop. It looks like a standard start, but the trap is now being quietly prepared. The second move, 2g4. And this is the blunder that seals white's fate. By pushing the g-pawn 2 squares, white completely opens the diagonal toward the king. The position is now wide open, and the black queen is ready to strike. Black finishes with 2. q4 number sign, checkmate. In just 2 moves, the game is over. The white king is trapped behind its own pieces with no escape. That's why it's called fool's mate, because only 2 reckless moves can lead to such a fast defeat. Have you ever imagined that a strong opening could betray you in just 5 moves? The Dutch defence. The first move, 1 d4 f5. White opens with d4, claiming central control. A solid and standard start. Black replies with f5, entering the Dutch defence. The idea is to fight for control over the e4 square and create an aggressive setup. But there's a problem. By pushing the f-pawn, black weakens the king side, especially the diagonal, leading toward the king. If black isn't cautious, this weakness can lead to disaster. The second move, 2 bg5. White wastes no time developing the bishop to g5, immediately targeting the f6 square. This move also puts indirect pressure on black's e7 to p-pawn and prepares to capture the knight if it comes out too soon. It's a subtle move, but it sets up the entire trap. Black responds with 2 h6. Black tries to chase the bishop away, hoping to gain some breathing room. But this is where things start to go wrong. By playing h6, black creates more weaknesses around the king. And every pawn that moves forward opens new attacking lines for white. The third move, 3 bh4 e5. White calmly retreats the bishop to h4, keeping the pressure alive. Then black plays g5, attacking the bishop again. But now the king side is full of holes. At this point, both the f and g pawns have moved, and the black king is dangerously exposed. The fourth move, 4 e4 white strikes in the centre. This move attacks the f5 pawn, gains massive space, and, here's the key, it threatens checkmate on the very next move. If black doesn't see what's coming, the game will be over before it even begins. Black falls for it with 4, gxh4. Thinking they're safe, black captures the bishop, but this is the final mistake. The king side is now completely open, and white is ready to deliver the final blow. The fifth move, 5. qh5 checkmate. In just 5 moves, the game is over. The queen lands on h5, attacking along the weakened diagonal. The black king has nowhere to run, and no piece can block or capture the queen. This is the Dutch defence checkmate trap. Quick, brutal, and unforgettable. Watch how a small mistake in the opening can lead to a stunning checkmate in just 6 moves. The first move, white begins with one f4, known as bird's opening. It tries to control the e5 square and grab some space in the centre. But here's the problem. This move weakens the king's side right from the start. That f-pawn push opens dangerous diagonals that black can exploit. The second move, black immediately strikes back with one e5, offering a pawn as a gambit. This move opens lines for the bishop and queen, setting up the trap from move 1. The third move, white takes the bait with 2 fe5. It seems like a free pawn, but it's actually walking right into danger. The fourth move, black plays 2d6, challenging the pawn on e5. If white captures again, black's dark squared bishop will leap into action. And that's exactly what happens next. The fifth move, white plays 3x6, taking another pawn. Now black calmly plays 3. bxd6, and just like that, both the bishop and queen are pointing straight at white's weakened kingside. The checkmate threat is already brewing. The sixth move. White develops with 4nc3, but unfortunately, this is the worst possible move right now. Black seizes the moment. 4. q4 plus exclamation mark. White has no choice but to block the check with 5g3, and here comes the stunning finish. 5.q xg3, a queen sacrifice. White must capture 6 hxg3 and then 6 bxg3 hash. Checkmate. The bishop delivers the final blow and the king has nowhere to run.